Jim, our next question was sent via the Cult of Cornette Facebook group by Marcus Durbin. Is there any
I
year...
thought you were going to say Marcus Dirtbag.
Or Marcus Dupree. Is there any year from any promotion that Jim thinks was perfectly booked? From promos to storylines to in-ring work, does Jim have a particularly favorite year or time period, either as a fan, participant, or booker himself? But let's go with the idea one year, a calendar year, perfectly booked.
Well, there's never been. You can't run a wrestling territory with a weekly television show and shows every night of the week, and you wrestlers coming and wrestlers going, and do everything perfectly. It's not possible. Best booked. Well, go ahead. What were you going to say?
So what do you think when you hear fans like me, who you've been hearing from for a long time about this, who think, like, for instance, Mid-South 84 is as close to perfect as you can get? It never lags, always new people being introduced, hot angles, good action, excellent promos, very few misses. Masao Ito leaves early on. But like when you hear that about 84 Mid-South, do you agree? Do you think that's too much?
Yeah, no, because as close to perfect as possible is different from perfect. And so many territories had that. And down through the years, you could go back and you could say that Roy Shire in 1962 was the best booker in the business because he made San Francisco the biggest drawing city in the country. You can say as a fan, for me in Memphis, 1974 was a great year because it was the ascension of Lawler, the feud with Lawler and Fargo, the multiple sellouts as Lawler went for the world title and Jack Briscoe. There was also Drek involved that year, but it was great at the gates because everybody got over. The TVs were still fairly boring because studio wrestling on TV back then was not meant to be Mid-South TV of 1984. Watts had taken that concept and updated everything by then. Mid-South 84 was great to work in, as was Crockett 86, although there were still stinkers in that year. But you remember that the AWA had a 1983 that was through the fucking roof. But at the same time, everything wasn't. There were always different years, different periods in the different territories where the talent and the booking and maybe a new TV show or a new station, everything clicked together and business was, great and everything was wonderful. But it can't ever be perfect, but there's so many countless, well, this was the best year of such and such that, you can't really call one to mind. As a performer, 84 Mid-South or 86 Crockett, as a fan, I liked Memphis in either 74 or 81 was tremendous with the talent and Lawler's return from the broken leg and the Jarrett inventing the dream matches and all the other shit. That was fucking tremendous. And as a booker myself, probably 2004 OVW before they started fucking with me too bad and I burnt myself out mad at them, or 1993 Smoky Mountain where I got everybody in that I wanted and I was just able to do the first things with them without it getting old and didn't have the quality of talent to replace them.
So summer in 93, or are you talking about like...
Well, they said 1 year, so...
Oh, you're talking about all of 93. Okay, yeah.
All of 93, because the spot shows in early 93 were doing 900 people in some little town in Virginia. The first wave of spot shows, those people hadn't seen big name wrestling in a few years. So we were doing sometimes bigger crowds on a spot show in Virginia than we do at the Knoxville Coliseum.
And while not a perfect year, where are you at with in terms of fans who love 89 NWA? Do you get it? Do you think that we're crazy? Do you think that we're
No,
overlooking a lot of bad shit? What do you think?
I get it because the part of 1989 that was good on screen outweighs the part of 89 that was bad on screen, and most people didn't live through all of the various regime changes, so they just remember 89 with Flair and Steamboat, Flair and Funk, Funk and Steamboat, Luger and Steamboat, Luger and Flair, all those great matches. Most of them took place during the time period when Flair was booking. But some of them did. Steamboat had come in. That's the one good thing that George Scott actually did, was get Steamboat in. So even though it was a disaster at the gate, and I'm talking the year, not that much, just 1989 was a disaster at the gates for WCW and a disaster for talent relations because a bunch of people came in that didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground, but the talent overperformed. So that's why the fans look back on it lovingly.